All right, folks, real quickly. There it is. Come on that time. Been a couple days since I've done a video, guys. But I tell you what, been out doing man stuff. Here's the deal. You probably already heard, but you're going to hear it from me because you never ask. The county supervisors down in Maricopa County, Arizona, is going to sue, threatening to sue, the auditors that they hired to do the audit down there in Maricopa. Okay, Dominion tried that. Dominion tried that with Mike Liddell, and he done opened a can of you-know-what on them because he counter-sued them birds. And so, folks, I'm telling you, I know you keep hearing this, and it's frustrating for everybody. And but I tell you what, this is going to happen. There's no doubt in my military mind that this is going to happen, folks. The Board of Supervisors, I'm telling you, my personal opinion, and you can sue me if you want, there's some criminal activity there, folks. There's 5 of them, and I think 4 of them's Rhino Republicans, and 1 of them's a Democrat. I just got a hunch that one of these people is going to flip. It may be a little bit closer to the end of the road where they know there's going to be some prosecutions out of all this, and their names on the list. I look for somebody to flip out of these supervisors and start telling the truth about this deal, folks. I really do. And so it's just a gut feeling, but stay tuned on that. If I'm wrong, I'm just wrong. But sometimes I get this stuff right. And and one thing a lot of people don't understand is why don't Karen Fann, president of the Senate in Arizona, why don't she have charges pressed against these supervisors? Because they never have turned these ballots over to the state treasurer, and they're supposed to have done that from the get-go, right after the election. But they're doing all these things to obstruct the audit. But I'm telling you, it's going to happen. There's too many other states involved. Everybody was thinking from the get-go that Arizona they're going to be the model of how to do this. They're going to be the marker. They're going to be the ones that the other states tee off their investigation with, because they seen how slick and how good Maricopa County done it. And that still may be true, but folks are, for some reason, and I think it's a criminal mob. I think that there's a criminal mob element, not only these supervisors, but in the Arizona legislatures, i.e., Republican Party. I am, by the way things is going, and it just, now, folks, I personally believe, and I hope to goodness I'm wrong, either somebody that's corrupt has Karen Fann's ear and stopping her from from prosecuting these board of electors. Okay, either she's complicit in it, and they're just trying to string the people along until they can destroy these ballots. Because I'm telling you, if these ballots disappear, once these ballots are gone, it's all called off. Nothing. Once these paper ballots are destroyed, it's over. It is over in the state of Arizona. Maybe something else can be done somewhere else, but it just seems to me like that they're stalling to get to the point to destroy the evidence, is what I'm thinking. And what we still don't know what these ballots was that was found in the dumpster, in the trash can, and in the dumpster, in the bag, I mean. We do know those ballots, and we know those 2020 ballots. Was they the Chinese ballots that they flew in? Counterfeit ballots, or was they the ballots that they filled out for other people? There is, folks, I'm not naive. I'm not stupid about this. Ray Charles, God bless him, rest his soul, he could see what's going on here, folks. Okay, it seems to me like there is there's collusion between the Republican legislators and the Board of Supervisors. It just seems to me like there's some collusion going on there, folks, and they're just stringing this out to the point to where these ballots can be destroyed. Because you don't, and here's another thing. The Board of Supervisors, guess who's paying for the lawyers these Board of Supervisors are hiring to cover up their dirty deeds? Moi, the Arizona taxpayers is paying these lawyers to cover up and to stall and to hinder and possibly stop these forensic audits, because they know there's criminal activity there and they are involved in it. And more than likely, the Secretary of State, is involved in it. And more than likely, some senators on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, are involved in criminal activity. All right? Now, maybe there's something I don't know, but why hasn't Karen Finn come out and said, this is why we don't prosecute the Board of Directors, Supervisors. This is why we don't go and try to get indictments on them for obstructing justice. This is why we don't do this and enforce the law on them. Well, okay, if there's not something fishy there, why don't she come out and explain to the Arizonians why she hasn't prosecuted or tried to bring charges on these supervisors? That tells me something's rotten in Denmark, pal. Something's bad wrong, and it's criminal activity. I don't know if she's involved in it, but brother, it's sure she's sure smelling up the joint by what she is not doing, and that's enforcing the law in Arizona. So Arizona may not be the model state to kick off these forensic audits, but fellas, I tell you folks, it's going to happen somewhere. Eventually, these things will take place in Arizona. But I'm here to tell you, there's going to be hundreds of people go to prison over this. There's no doubt in my mind. You don't do something this blatant out in the open, this big, this corrupt, using foreign influence and foreign entities to corrupt the entire United States election in practically all 50 states, if not all 50 states, and cover it up and get away with it. So, folks, I'm telling you, just stay tuned. This ain't over. Something is going to happen and pop this wide open. You just don't do this things at this level and get away with it. It just don't happen. Okay, this level of crime. This is criminal activity. This is treason, colluding with foreign governments. This is treason at the highest level. It is exactly what this is. There's some people that should be probably get the death penalty over this, if I had anything to do with it. So, folks, I know it's a long road. I know it stinks. It's disappointing. It's heartbreaking. As soon as we think we're there, then the supervisors, they pull this. Now, here's one thing I guarantee you. All right, when this starts in these other states, the other county supervisors, however, if they've got their government structured similar to Arizona and they have supervisors, boards of supervisors, okay, they sure know how now to obstruct an investigation. But they're watching this, they're learning this because they're necks in the noose too. Okay, I'm telling you, there's enough criminal indictments to go around, hundreds and hundreds of people. All right, and right into our FBI, CIA. I wouldn't doubt the CIA is the one that headed this up and instigated it. There's more Chinese money, folks. There's more Chinese money involved in this election than rickshaws in China. There's no doubt about that. But it's not going to stand, folks. Okay, and I'm going to go as far as saying this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is temporary. All right? They better enjoy their stay. Okay? I'm telling you, when this pimple pops, folks, there's going to be prison sentences for everybody involved, except for the ones that turn. And the closer it gets to prosecution, the more of these rats is going to turn on each other. You know, it's going to happen. Just stay with us, folks. Stay focused. But I just smell something rotten in Arizona, man, and I just can't help. If Karen Fann is so dedicated to getting to the bottom of this, if she and the other Republican legislators are so worried about this next election, okay, why don't they come out and explain to the people why they haven't done anything? And they have allowed these the Board of Supervisors to just run ripshod over them. There's a cover-up, that's why. Folks, there's a cover-up in the legislatures of Arizona. Now, somebody just proved me wrong. There's criminal activity among the Board of Supervisors and among the legislatures in Arizona. Now, that's how I feel about it. That's my opinion. Otherwise, why would both parties be acting the way they're acting? You tell me. Are we going to be that naive to where we just, everything just okay? I don't think so. Keep the pressure on them, Arizonians. You people that live in Arizona, or you can put more pressure on them than anybody in the United States. But here's the catch. Here's the kicker, is the entire United States hinges on what happens in these battleground states. So, folks, keep pressure on them. Keep pressure on them. But like I said, they're a criminal mob. There's a lot of criminal activity going on here. You just don't do, just like the Democrats kept telling President Trump over his taxes, well, you ain't got nothing to hide, just put it out there. You ain't got nothing to hide. Well, we've been told this was, in Arizona, this was the most transparent election in history and how good it was run. Okay, and if that's true, what are you hiding, supervisors? What are you hiding, legislators? Why haven't you prosecuted Karen Fann? Why haven't you went to this same judge that some of you I know hoped wouldn't allow this audit? I guarantee you that you're sweating it, and then you like to swallow your own head when he said, yes, go ahead with this audit. And I really believe, it looks to me like the Arizona State Senate is just stringing the people along in Arizona. Now, if you're not, prove Skimo wrong. But that's how I feel about it. I think you're stringing your own people along to save your own freaking dirty, traitorous neck. I think that's what you're doing. And the rest of the country's having to suffer right along with your own people. And but I believe the people are going to wait you out, Senate. The people they're going to force this. And let me tell you something else. When the truth is found out, that's not going to be the end of it. They're not going to just allow the truth to be good enough, because the truth is criminal activity, traitorous, treasonous activity, and they're going to demand it be corrected. Might have to have some elections because there's so many of you that's going to be indicted. So there may have to be a bunch of special elections to continue this, because your goat smelling hind ends is going to prison. Now, that's how I feel about it. Folks, there's something else. I got to go do some man stuff. I got to get out of here. Just to throw this out there. Okay, now, as far as the vaccine goes, I'm not taking the vaccine. Okay. I'm not a sickly type person. I'll be 65 in October. I'm healthy. I rarely ever get a cold. I don't know, about every 10, 15 years I might get I don't think I've had the flu in 20 years. I would let me put it to you that I rarely ever get sick. Okay, but I am a seasoned citizen. Okay, but I'm not getting the vaccination. Now, there's a lot of lying. There's a lot of conniving. We all know this. There's a lot of fear, selling fear over this COVID. Yes, it's a real disease, and it kills a lot of people, but it don't kill no more people than the flu kills. Now, you hear all these numbers, 3 million dead from COVID. That's a bald-faced lie. Okay? Flu, you never heard of flu, influenza. You never heard of that when COVID hit the streets. You die from a gunshot wound, and if you tested positive for COVID, you died from COVID. They could drop you out of an airplane with no parachute. If you tested positive for COVID, you died from COVID. It was a money racket. The hospitals, in my opinion, stealing government money. Everything went under COVID. Another story. Here's the bottom line. 246 people that was fully vaccinated. That means they had both shots, fully vaccinated. 246 in Michigan tested positive for COVID. I hope they had their mask on. Where's Fauci when you need him? What happened, Fauci? Tell us about it, you little punk. He's another evil little critter. Now, either we got faulty tests with a bunch of false positives, which, yes, in my opinion, there's millions of false positives, or the vaccination ain't worth a crap, and whatever they're injecting into your body ain't working. Okay, so, and I talked to two elderly people the other day that had their COVID vaccine, him and her, man and woman, and they was told you still have to wear your mask. Now, that makes about as much sense as something else I can think about. This is all a sham, folks. It's all a charade. COVID's out there. It can be deadly to people that have health problems. Okay. But all this fear and hype is just unsubstantiated. That mask will stop you from getting COVID about like your underwear will contain a fart. Okay? That's about as that's they're on an equal plane there. You know? That's just bottom line. Prove me wrong, somebody. And just one more thing, then I gotta get out of here. Vegas mayor turns red. Now I think his name's John J. Lee. He's a mayor out there in Vegas. Turned Republican. So now he's a Republican, was a Democrat, saying that they're just too radical for him. They don't want socialist, communist. And he probably won't be the only one. But I'm telling you, joining the GOP, you ain't done much. I'm done with them. You know, I give my entire political life to the Republican Party, and they ain't done nothing but cowed down, crawled under the bed like a whipped pup. When they get the majority, they don't know how to keep it. You know, and they stuck more knives in President Trump's back than anything I ever seen. And if you people think, okay, that you're going to clean and reform the Republican Party and that you're going to clean it out, you're sadly mistaken, Jack. It ain't going to happen. It's the deep state and the rhinos are so embedded into that party, it ain't never going to happen. Never. You're spinning your wheels. And I'm a third party guy. You take, there's 100, roughly, just real quick, and I gotta go. There's a roughly 160 million registered voters in this country, right? All right. You got, they say 75 million voted for President Trump. And with all the forensics that Mike Lindell has got, they say that Trump was the one who got to 80 million votes. Biden got 66 million votes. That truth is going to come out too. It's already out there. But anyway, you figure 75 million. If 75 million people would open their eyes and President Trump would come to the realization that the GOP is worthless, is tits on a borehole. And if President Trump took those 75 million people and started a third party, he's already got a giant head start that no other third party ever had. Okay. And then you've got another 65. You got another 65 million over here to split between the Democrat Party and the ones that don't want to leave the Republican Party. So you got 75,000 people in a third party, and you've got 30,000 left in the Democrat, a million, I'm sorry. You got 75 million in a third party, and that leaves, let's say, 60 million. You got 30 million left in the Democrat Party. You got 30 million left in the Republican Party that won't leave. Jive them numbers any way you want to shuck and jive those numbers. But if the majority of the people would go with President Trump, and you know they would, how many millions and millions of people viewers did he have on Twitter? I forget, astronomical number of millions of people he had on Twitter. There is no way that and I keep hearing, split the party. You're going to split who cares? Who cares if you split the Republican Party? It doesn't matter. When you take the majority of the voters across the board to a third party, and you have the majority, and you leave two minorities over here that wouldn't even add them together, that wouldn't even make the amount that President Trump took to make a third party. You know, this split the party. That's another fear tactic that Republicans have bought into. But now is the time. Now's the time to start a third party. You take 75 million over here and you leave the rest of them to change. And like I said, added together, they still don't add up to what President Trump has, because they're still going to be leaving the Democrat Party and the Republican Party and come to the third party. I mean, folks, don't buy into it. Think about it. Think about the math. Do the math. It's just simple grade school math problem is exactly what it is. Anyway, let's sky mode, folks, because you didn't ask. All right, folks. Come on, like and subscribe to this. And help me out here, folks. Need some help now. So, like and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Leave some comments, complaints, death threats, whatever. Just keep them clean. Like I've always said, you don't have to cuss a man out to threaten his life, okay? All right. A little bit after 3 here in Ohio. I got to get out of here. All right. Love you. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Folks, think about what I've said in all this. And stand by. I'm telling you, all this tyranny is not going to stand. People will be brought to justice. In Jesus' name. I love you. God bless you. Let's SkyMo. Because you didn't ask, like and subscribe, folks.